Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawud Daw from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Quadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth with sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, I'm going to jump into this here lesson as a follow-up, another news update, The last couple of videos I've been doing and the videos I've been trying to put out, it's all pretty much building into one big massive story, and, just looking at it through the spirit, the Most High, had me hold back the original video up until, I wanted to put that video out the end of last week, but, as time progressed, here we go, Monday, things started boiling over. Tuesday, things started boiling over. And here we are Wednesday, we still adding to the story, all right? So we're going to read some of these here articles dealing with Israel. And basically, they're not saying it. And, we know that this isn't, the things transpiring as, like what I'm going to say. Basically, they're at war, But we know that basically they're not at war. But, in a regular person's term, this would be, be war, You have two countries, all right? Two actual countries basically reportedly making strikes at each other, not that, like, how we were in Syria, we weren't necessarily bombing, America's military wasn't directly bombing the Syrian government or the Syrian military or anything like that. There was only, like, I believe 2 cases of that, and that was under Donald Trump, where he hit an airport and he hit some other shit that they had, but really didn't do no damage or nothing like that, The airport they hit, they was back up in operation the next day, Pretty much just propaganda to show, Donald Trump, he got a little bit of might, But nevertheless, I'm going to get into these here stories, because like I said, just yesterday and the day before that, putting out the videos I put out, we were just talking about this, all right? So this here article says Israel-Syria cross-border strikes reported in occupied Golan Heights. All right. Strikes have been reported across the border between Israel-occupied and Syrian portion of the Golan Heights. All right. Now, if you look at that area, basically, it's kind of hard to explain, but you have Israel and then you have Syria, which is, they share a border. Now, in a certain part of their border, there's a little piece in the area that they call the Golan Heights. You have to go back into the history about that and when Israel basically became a state, more or less to say, when they started out and they had their wars or whatever, they wound up taking a whole lot of land, Then they wound up giving certain lands back to certain people, And so this is how the whole Golan Heights deal became, like how it is now, And this is where they trying to push these settlements and stuff at, This is where a lot of the controversy is at over in this disputed territory of who owns it, But nevertheless, it says strikes have been reported across the border between Israel-occupied and the Syrian portion of the Golan Heights. Syrian media says Israeli shells hit the territory. All right, so Israel is over here bombing inside of Syria. Okay, now as we read through all of this and you hear the things that Israel is saying and all that, Israel got some nerve. Every time you turn the damn TV on and you see them fucking gutter rats, they always crying. Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel has a right to defend itself, and if you don't believe in that, then you're a fucking Nazi. You're anti-Semitic, man. This shit get on my nerves. How they always say they got the right to defend themselves, but yet at the same time, Syria can't defend themselves. You telling Syria they can't have missile defense systems to stop y'all from bombing them, But you say, hey, look, if we don't bomb them, then they gonna bomb us. Well, they ain't bombed you yet, but over the past years, you just been constantly bombing them. All right. It says the Syrian media says Israeli shells hit the territory while Israel reports it was targeted by Iranian missiles. All right. So now they both playing to both, different sides. Like, well, Syria saying Israel was striking over in the Golan Heights, and Israel saying Iran was striking over in the Golan Heights. But the least of them is starting to draw them out. You got little old Israel going over here pushing up on bigger people. And then when that bigger person decides to push Israel up off of them, they want to go start crying. Everybody and their mama like, yo, y'all got to help me out, man. You see how these people are trying to kill us, right? We need everybody to come together and just wage war on them, But we all know that basically Israel is a proxy for America. That's just what the hell America want to do, Ironically, all this is around the time of the nuclear deal and all of this extra stuff, you know, right at the time where Syria is pretty much done, being destroyed, you know. They're ready to move to the next target, you know. It says the shells were fired from the Israeli-controlled area towards the city of Ba'ath in the northern Kintyre. Syria State SANA, basically the Syrian news agency, reported. There have been no reports of injuries as a result of the attack, it said. All right, so, and with all of this stuff, you know, you got to read between the lines and see what's really going on here, you know. Like, you know, actually I'll throw it in here because there's an article speaking on this thing, you know. And just reading these people's spirits, you know. These motherfuckers is making money off of that. The one thing that America exports, besides like porn and bullshit, you know, the one thing that America exports that makes money off of that is military. All right, bombs. Every time they bomb something, them bombs cost a lot of money. All right, so you know you'll see all these things. So why would you spend billions of dollars on missiles and then you just fire them as blanks? You know, you just bomb in the middle of the desert for no reason. You know, you wasting your money. You know. And I'll touch into that article a little later, but it says within minutes of the reported shelling, and these goddamn devils, see, they use they double speak, they forked ass tongue. See, this don't sound all that bad. It says within minutes of the reported shelling. These motherfuckers wasn't shelling. Like, what's the definition of shelling? Oh, you mean bombing? You know? It says within minutes of the reported bombing, because they don't want to sound like they the fucking bad guy. If you put the real words that they was using. All right, y'all was going over there bombing this country. All right, the same thing you say that everybody's threatening to do to you. You actually is the one that's implementing all this, the one that's acting all this stuff out. It says within minutes of the reported bombing, the Israeli military said that the sirens were heard in the occupied Golan Heights. The occupied Golan Heights, meaning these motherfuckers is illegally occupying this area that's not even theirs. You know, so. You know, and these same as Amalek is still an Edomite, but these Edomites over here got the nerve to say, why don't y'all go back home? The same way they came over here and occupying this here land is the same way they over here occupying that land, telling everybody else they need to go home. But the one motherfucker who don't really got nothing in the damn earth, well, he got Mount Seir, he want to be in everybody else's house. It says, when they heard the sirens in occupied Golan Heights without providing any details as to what triggered the alert. The details are being looked into and will be given shortly, the IDF said on Twitter. It is unclear so far which of the incidents came first. All right. So like I said, there was some back and forth going on between Israel and apparently Iran. All right. Now, this is all coming out of the words of basically Iran's mouth, or Israel's mouth and everything like that. So, you know, but also they've been playing up that Iran is like, yo, well, we ready. We ain't really tripping over no bullshit. We ready, you know. And when you really look at Iran's military, Iran is a huge place, all right? That's a really big place. And also, they have a big military, all right? They're not no little small-ass, little rinky-dink country, all right? It says Israeli media reported that the sirens might have been activated due to the Iron Dome missile defense system, which was deployed to shoot down incoming projectiles, all right? So, wait a minute. Israel can have an Iron Dome system or a missile defense system, but nobody else can. When Israel ain't been hit with no goddamn missiles, whereas all the other countries around them is being bombarded by Israel, all right? The only people with nuclear missiles over in that area, all right? But they the ones scared of getting bombed, and they the ones scared of getting nuked. And they the only ones over there bombing and nuking everybody else, all right? So there have also been unconfirmed reports of explosions on the Israeli side. Footage posted by Jerusalem Post military correspondent Anna Arohim on Twitter shows sirens going off in the village of Majadal Sha'am, north of Golan Heights. The Israeli media citing the army reported that its missile defense shield repelled an attack allegedly staged by Iran's Quds force. During some 20 missiles were launched into Israeli-controlled territory. All right, so here's the reports of Iran apparently firing missiles on Israel. All right, so like I said, like we know that this isn't really war that's popping up because we know we still have other things. Like we know that this ain't World War III, the full-on hot war where it's nothing else is going to return from, you know, because we have to have that mark of the beast implemented. But we also do know that we are in World War III, the beginning stages. It's not going to just pop off one day out the blue and one shot is fired and then everybody popping off. No, it's not going to start like that. It start, first of all, with currency and trade wars and things like that, the nations grouping together. Then you have small proxies. Then you grow into larger schemes of things, you know. So you're seeing all these things being implemented with the petrodollar and the petro yuan going to war with each other, you know, and trade deals and all these types of things going on with each other, and all these countries banding together with one another, all right? And also the expansive military manufacturing, all right? So it says the military said that some of the projectiles were shot down. The Army says there was no injuries. Meanwhile, the Golan Regional Council urged residents to stay in shelter, saying that the area has come under rocket fire. The Israeli forces tweeted that it views the alleged attack by Iranian forces with severity and announced that there will be more to follow. So how the fuck do these damn devils have the right to be like, oh well, Iran attacked us, so we gonna push up on them, you know? Really, Israel, if that's the case, if Iran pushed up on Israel, Israel do got the right to defend themselves, all right? Call it spade is spade. Right is right, wrong is wrong. But these goddamn devils gonna say, oh well, you know, basically Iran was pushing up on us and bombing us, so we got the right to basically exterminate them. Wait a minute, aren't we reading about how y'all just bombed? Well, we'll get into this about how they just was bombing Iranian property, Iranian like possessions inside of Syria. All right. Then we also was hearing about how they basically bombed in the same time. Wound up killing a couple Iranians, not like I believe earlier this week or last week, all right? So, you know, you not only are you blowing up their military equipment, all right? What would be the difference if Russia blew up one of our tanks or one of our battleships or one of our aircraft carriers or one of our planes or something? If they did that shit to us, we'd be ready to go, all right? You over here blowing up their shit and they can't defend themselves? They can't have missile defense systems because of your history and the shit you've been doing? Not fuck your history, what you've been doing in just 2018 alone. We'll just take the history of 2018 alone. We can say fuck everything else in the past and just look at 2018 alone. Alright? Says, where was I at? The reported showdown comes just days after the Israeli forces struck a Syrian army position south of Damascus. You see what I'm saying? Israel over here bombing Iran, but they don't have the right to defend themselves. They don't have the right to position their defense systems up to protect themselves. What they supposed to do, just lay down and let you sit there and bomb their ass and take over their country? That's genocide. You see what I'm saying? This is some bullshit. It says, Israeli warplanes were reported spotted in Lebanese airspace in the run-up to the attack. Rebel-linked sources reported that the strikes was aimed at Iranian military installment and resulted in the death of several Iranian servicemen. So, not only did you blow up some of their military equipment, you actually killed some Iranian soldiers. All right? So, what much more do you need to fucking start a war with a country? At what point in time in all of this can Iran stand up to defend themselves? Or can Iran stand up and call a spade a spade? At what point in time? After you kill all of them? At what point in time can they say something? All right? These them goddamn devils over there, man. Esau is a pure devil, man. It says, however, according to the SANA, the attack, which came just on the heels of U.S. President Trump withdrawal from the nuclear deal with Iran, caused no casualties. So, you know, in the midst of them bombing the Golan Heights, nobody was really harmed in that. All right? It says, Syrian air defenses, this is another one. Israel launched massive strike in Syria. All right, these are all talking pretty much about the same story, just further on in the day. Well, actually, there was other attacks as well, but, you know, there's a multiple attacks. This is all pretty much in the same day, you know. Syrian air defenses were deployed to thwart an attack by Israeli rockets. Syrian state SANA news agency reported. The bombing is reported being carried out by Israeli warplanes from Lebanese airspace. The Syrian air defense engaged missiles that Israeli warplanes are launching from outside the country's territory, the news agency reported on Thursday. The bombardment appeared to go on for hours. The first missile strike reported about 1:30 a.m. Damascus time on Thursday. So, or, you know, pretty much today in our time. You know, so they over here bombing for hours on end. At what point in time can they defend themselves? You get into a fight with somebody, right? And you over here just wailing on them, knocking them. You got them on the ground, grounding and pounding their ass. They can't even cover their face up. They can't even try to get you up off them. You know, you over here grounding and pounding somebody and knocking the shit out of them. They losing conscience. They trying to shield their face with their hands. And he over here screaming, stop hitting me, stop hitting me, stop hitting me. But he over here, his hands are only in the up position guarding his face. And you the one over here bloodying his face up and he losing conscience. But yet you yelling out, you know, stop hitting me, stop hitting me. Nah, this is some bullshit, you know. It says, early Thursday morning, the IDF spokesman confirmed the Israeli army was continuing, all right, not to start or just this one isolated attack. Says the Israeli army was continuing to hit Iranian targets. So it's out there and open. Like, how much more do they need for Iran to be able to just sit here and be like, you know what, fuck y'all, we finna just wipe y'all off the map, all right? Iranian targets in Syria. Not only that, you blowing up another country's shit inside of another country. Two different sovereign countries, you over there fucking them up, but yet you blaming them for trying to kill you. Maybe it's your actions that you're doing. You over here fucking up all their shit, you know? It says the IDF confirmed that Israeli army was continuing to hit Iranian forces in Syria, warning that any retaliation by Syrian forces will be met with extreme seriousness. These bastards got the nerve to be like, oh, we got the right to defend ourselves. They cry this bullshit every day that I see these bastards on TV. Israel got the right to defend themselves. But yet here in the same goddamn sentence, they over here saying, look, we're going to continue to bomb Iranian targets inside of Syria. And if Syria decide to defend themselves or to defend their airspace, we're going to fuck them up too. They don't have the right to defend themselves. What fucking human being on the earth, the planet Earth, what human being on the planet Earth don't got the right to defend himself? The fuck? You telling me that the motherfucker can just come upon you with a baseball bat and start welling on your ass with a baseball bat, you can't defend yourself? That's like when your parents is beating your ass as a child, you better not move. You better not move. That's a little different. You getting disciplined, alright? But the ideology of this bullshit, man. These goddamn devils in it. I mean, I ain't really mad at them on this shit, because this is how the devil gonna get down. But the rest of these people that's watching this shit don't see nothing wrong with this shit. They look at us like we crazy. Why y'all so mad about this shit? Look at these goddamn devils. They out here killing millions of people. About to have the whole world fucked up. But because nobody wants to stand up to these goddamn devils. It says the Israeli strikes are seen as continued retaliation to what Israel claims were some 20 rocket launched by Iran's Kurd forces in the Syrian territory in the Israeli-occupied part of the Golan Heights earlier tonight. That's a whole mouthful of bullshit right there. It says, oh, well, Israel said that basically we retaliating on the shit that they was starting on us earlier tonight. Wait a minute. Maybe they was retaliating on the shit you've been doing on them just from the shit the last past week, you know? If you got the right to retaliate against them, don't they got the same fucking right? Oh, wait a minute. Are you God and they just pure brute beast? The fuck? You know what I'm saying? The pride of this damn devil. I will be like the Most High. This nigga gotta go, man. The pride of these goddamn heathen, man. Get my goddamn blood stirred up just thinking about they damn fork tongue. The blasphemies, like the scripture say, the blasphemies of their goddamn tongue. Then it also says, they talking about all this bullshit in the Israeli-occupied territory of the Golan Heights, meaning these niggas is illegally in somebody else's area. How y'all talking about these illegal Mexicans over here? All right? You over here, just imagine if a news story was like, okay, you got a group of illegal Mexicans over here that then hijacked a state and hold it. Let's say some illegal Mexicans then jumped the border and took over Arizona and holding the government in Arizona hostage. How the fuck would the American military and the American government react to that? It'll be a full-on war over there, all right? But at the same time, everybody is disputing over the Golan Heights. Like, Israel is occupying it. That's why they call it that. They'd be like, yeah, we're going to just accept that these terrorists is over here in this land, occupying the territory. Ain't that the reason we over there in Syria? Because you have, you know, not the Civil War part, but because you got terrorists occupying these lands, all right? The IDF said that the Iron Dome systems intercepted some of the projectiles and reported that there was no injuries. Around the same time, Syrian state media reported that Israel shelled the city. I ain't gonna say shelled. It said Israel bombed the city of Ba'ath in the northern Qatari government. Tensions are wrapped up in the region after President Donald Trump announced the country's withdrawal from the Iranian nuclear deal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a fierce critic of the accord, hailed the decision, which drew sharp condemnation from Europe, Russia, and China. All right. Israel has been claiming that Iran is setting up bases of operation in Syria in order to stage attack against the Jewish state. You see these same forked-ass tongue bastards. Look at a map of the U.S. bases around the globe and also NATO bases around the globe. And tell me who the fuck America is surrounding, the American empire is surrounding. It's the same shit. Not just surrounding Russia, Israel, Iran, and all them motherfuckers. You got the whole goddamn planet in subjection. The fuck you mean? This is, it has launched numerous airstrikes, this time about Israel. Israel has launched numerous airstrikes against Syrian government-controlled territories. So, not no man's land. You didn't bomb, basically, the Syrian government and their property. All right? It's like them saying, hey, look, man, somebody come out here and bomb the desert of Nevada. Well, bitch, that's still American territory. Even though it ain't shit out there, it's still American territory. Yeah, they would be out there bombing over that shit, you know? Now, talking about the occupied, the Golan Heights, here's the backdrop. The Golan Heights in southwestern Syria has been occupied by Israel since the Six-Day War in 1967. So these goddamn terrorists then basically went over there and occupied this, I ain't gonna say occupied, stole this land. Illegally immigrated into this land with no papers. These niggas is over there with no papers. Unwanted, uninvited, just jumped the fence. Just like these fucking Americans over here, uninvited for 400 fucking years. Bastards. A bastard should dwell in Ashdod. Alright? The Golan Heights in southwestern Syria has been occupied by Israel since the Six-Day War in 1967 and are internationally recognized as Syrian territory. So the whole fucking globe knows that this is Syrian property. But only two people on fucking planet Earth, Israel and America, decide, oh, we're going to turn a blind eye to that. We know that ain't they shit, but we're going to say it anyway. Alright, basically, it's still going to the same stories here, you know. See if this one here is, okay, here, there's some extras. So some of them managed, talking about the attack, some of them managed to target a number of the air defense positions, radar, and ammunition depots, sources by the SNA says. So they actually hit a couple things over there, alright? So, you know, Israel is over here taking out certain positions and you know, military positions. You know, if this happened to America, they'd be, you know, up in arms over that, alright? I'm going to, you know, tap into this as well. Saudi Arabia threatens to build nukes if Iran does. You know, so it says, basically it says, we have made it very clear that if Iran acquires a nuclear capability, we will do everything we can do at the same time. Basically, Saudi Arabia is saying, you know. So you see these people starting to put, everybody is starting to demonize Iran. All of America's allies are starting to demonize Iran, all right, over this deal. And the last little article I'm going to peek into, because you know, the only time, whenever you see, you know, bombing like this, or are they bombing out in the desert, or they ain't hitting no real targets, you see them, like, damn, all this technology, and y'all ain't really hit nobody, y'all ain't really killed nobody, these bombs only killed like 2 people. Like, nigga, you could have went over there with a pistol and killed 2 people and saved you a whole fuckload of money. In fact, you could have ran them 2 niggas over and saved you a whole lot more money. Alright? But yet, you know, that is something different behind all that. You know, these motherfuckers are getting rid of the old stockpile because they have a whole arsenal of some new shit out now. The old shit you see is out the way. The Minuteman missiles and the Patriot missiles, all that shit is obsolete. They got some way newer shit than that. Alright? Like the Satan 1 missile, they got some way newer shit than that. Satan 2, they got newer shit than that. Alright? It says U.S. weapons manufacturers stock prices soar as Trump pulls out an Iranian deal. Alright? So that's the bullshit. This is how it should read. It says U.S. weapons manufacturers stock prices soar as all this bombing is going on in the Middle East. Alright? What the fuck is going on with this? It says, basically, roughly paraphrased, most people negatively criticize this, but it brought some good news for some weapons manufacturers. The stock price of all of the top U.S. weapon manufacturers shot up just as Trump announced he's pulling out of the country, pulling this country out of the pact, which lifted sanctions on Iran in exchange for Tehran, and they're eliminating his nuclear program. Basically, you know, reading between the lines, whenever they drop bombs, whenever they ramp up these planes, sell new planes to more people, like Germany and France are kind of mad because they don't want to buy this F-35. You see, all this stirring up all this shit in the Middle East, they ain't doing nothing but making American companies money, all right? And also, this is why the whores going to start to hate these motherfuckers, because they can't make no money off of them. The American companies is making money off all this bombing, all this massive military buildup. America's making money off of that, not these other countries, but they paying a price for it, all right? They soldiers is dying. Their infrastructure is going to hell. They wasting money over this bullshit, and America's making money, all right? You blowing up whole countries just so you can get rich, all right? This is just some bullshit. It's just like you make money. It's like a motherfucker's like, yo, I'm going to go and burn my own car to claim insurance so I can make me some money, or some bullshit, or I'm going to go kill my husband or my wife to collect life insurance policy. You fucking your own self up just so you can benefit from it, all right? This is what's going on with them. So when you see all this indiscriminate bombing, you know, these motherfuckers is making money off of that, all right? Well, Lord willing, here, you know, news update was edifying. Until next time, I say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth with sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Shalom.